Welcome to the Guaranteed Irish Business Podcast, where each week we're joined by leaders of Guaranteed Irish member businesses to chat about how they sustain jobs, communities and provenance. Supported by FBD Insurance, Ireland's largest homegrown insurer. Support, it's what we do.
Hello and welcome to the Guaranteed Irish Business Podcast. My name is Bríd O'Connell and joining me today is Robert Stringer, Energy Services Executive with Energia, to discuss renewable heating solutions, retrofits and the government's energy efficient obligation scheme. You're very welcome, Robert.
Thank you, Bríd.
Delighted to have you here. And of course, Energia is a pretty new member to Guaranteed Irish. And when we think about Energia, we're thinking about all things green at this stage. There's such a shift in that area. And the company itself has launched to business customers in 1999 and residential customers in 2014 and employs 210 people in the Republic of Ireland, we're delighted to see, and supplies over 250,000 homes and businesses, leading green energy supplier in Ireland. A brilliant achievement and a great shift in the business, and now providing 23% of Ireland's total wind power. Great credit due to Energia. It's come a long way.
Yeah, it really has.
So first of all, Robert, tell us about your own background and your role in Energia.
Sure. I've been with Energia 18 months now, and I manage Energia's EOS, so Energy Efficiency Obligation Scheme.
I'm really interested to know about that. What is the Energy Efficient Obligation Scheme?
So that's an EU scheme running since 2014, which is chiefly concerned with energy reduction across the bloc. So each member state has energy reduction targets that they delegate. So here in Ireland, every energy supplier and distributor has targets that they need to hit each year, and that would be split into two segments: commercial and residential.
Right.
So
how are Ireland doing? How is Ireland doing in that?
Reasonably well.
Okay, so paint us a picture there.
I think there was some wilderness years between 2014 and 2020 when the scheme was finding its feet and the regulation was kind of catching up.
Sure.
But since kind of post-pandemic, it's really started rocketing. With the commercial element, you've got reductions made with lighting, with renewable systems like heat pumps and solar, and then with general wastage. And then in the residential sector, that's chiefly concerned with deep retrofits and energy efficiency upgrades in the home.
And are there enough incentives out there to motivate homeowners to do that?
That's kind of the tough game is getting that sweet spot with grants and education to stimulate people to go out and do a retrofit. It's providing enough grants that people will be able to do the efficiency upgrades and retrofits, but not providing so much that the government goes bankrupt.
Yeah, and with 500,000 homes as the target, the government plan are aiming for in terms of retrofitting by 2030. Is it realistic? It's pretty high.
It's certainly ambitious, Bríd, and to be honest, I think it's necessary. It's just, there's sort of three pillars that I think they need to focus on if those targets to be met in 2030. First of which would be financing. A retrofit of your home is not particularly cheap. And the government's been looking at all kinds of low-cost finance options for a few years now. They said they'd have something ready by Q3 2023, so hoping to see something in that space soon.
Okay.
Second pillar would be education. So we simply don't have enough skilled workers in this space at the moment. So there is educational training boards in Laois and Offaly, which are great, but I don't think enough people know about them. I don't think we're spending enough time in schools giving kids the options of this as a career,
yeah.
A green, rewarding career as a retrofit engineer. And the third pillar would be scalability. So we're ticking along with the retrofits. The numbers are okay, but they're not big enough to hit those 500,000 targets by 2030. So we need innovative solutions on how to deploy retrofits on a huge scale. And there's definitely inspiration coming out of the Netherlands, Scandinavia and Germany on how to do that with kind of non-intrusive retrofits. So I think we need to see a bit more of that kind of thing in Ireland.
Yeah, I agree. It's just slow. That's the big problem. It must be frustrating on your side, on the Energia side.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you're working with the local authorities. What work are you doing with them?
That's certainly one of the most rewarding parts of my job. So that's concerned with energy poverty and
energy poverty.
Yeah, so that's
explain that to me.
Defined as if you spend 10% or more of your income on energy bills, you're defined as living in energy poverty. And these low-income homes face sort of a double hit, especially in times like these, where they can they generally have the least energy-efficient homes, so their bills are highest when they can least afford them. Yeah. And what we're doing is we have a few partnerships with a local authorities. So with Clare County Council, we've been assisting with fully costed retrofits for the last 3 years. We've done about 90 homes, and with Louth County Council, we did 60 retrofits last year and 200 this year. We're aiming for probably a similar number next year, and these are really quite transformative projects.
Right. And who pays for that?
So it's a mix of funding, but none of it is going to the tenants. So it'll be a mix of Department of Housing, the local authorities themselves, and then Energia. We put in a big part of the financing.
Well done, Energia. I really like to see that, and it does give you hope if as you said, you could just scale it a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's it. And each year there's more and more lessons learned. We only started doing this in 2021, and we already learned so much for this year from last year. It's becoming quicker, more efficient in itself, and more detailed and effective.
Oh, good to hear. It's hope. In terms of other grants then, what else is being made available to help consumers out there?
I mean, you've got your individual grants available to most homeowners, so that would be your heat pumps and different types of insulation. But with our Cozy Home scheme, you can avail of every grant available. So the full deep retrofit, so that would include then floor insulation as well, windows and doors, mechanical ventilation.
Brilliant.
So the whole suite of packages to make your home more airtight, less drafty, less mouldy.
And there's a big push towards heat pumps, I noticed recently. We hear a lot about them, but there's still some confusion over what they are and how they work. Can you maybe explain a little bit about that to us?
Yes, heat pumps, the sort of mysterious
like the rules
piece
around offside goals and goals being offside and all that. So do demystify, please, Robert.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, heat pumps are a heating device that extracts heat from one source and moves it to another. So generally, that source would be air, so air source heat pumps. Once they extract the air, they will then amplify it and transfer this heat to whatever you need it for, so hot water or space heating. And they don't actually generate heat, so that's why they're far more efficient than your typical forms of household heating, like gas or oil boilers or electric heaters. And the best mode of operation for a heat pump is to set and forget. So you kind of just find a...
Brilliant, ideal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, just leave it alone. So just find a nice temperature on the thermostat that's comfortable and just leave it.
Set and forget. But heat pumps, of course, aren't relevant to older properties. You really have to have certain criteria, don't you, for them to be efficient and sealed?
Exactly. So they really are ideal for post retrofit homes, or you get it done as part of a deep retrofit, because that air tightness is key to them working optimally ultimately. We do recommend that you have an airtight home before you install a heat pump, and you will get the best usage out of it there and probably see bills go down.
Massive change. I've seen it, I've heard it. Unfortunately, I don't have one.
Yeah, me either.
I don't have a sealed home is the problem. But it is interesting to see the impact they're having, and certainly they're a no-brainer for new homes, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
So quite recently we published one of the blogs from Energia, actually, relating to the EU Directive on Fluorescent Lighting. Can you tell us a little bit more today on what this directive is and how Energia are helping businesses particularly to prepare for it? Because we have a lot of businesses here who are doing their best to cut their bills, trying to do the right thing by the environment and reach their targets. So talk us through that option.
So this piece of legislation is coming in September the 1st, and that's a ban on all T5 and T8 fluorescent light bulbs. So this is the lighting typically found in hospitals, schools, manufacturing sites. Yeah, you look up there. So this is probably going to really result in supply chain issues as it tightens, and costs are probably going to go up. Now, what Energia offer is a lighting solution that assists businesses in switching to LEDs.
Right.
And this can save up to 8% on the lighting bills. It reduces consumption quite considerably. And we also offer end-to-end support in that process. So we take care of the audits, the contractors, the paperwork, and even the disposal of old lighting systems. So it really minimises disruption while keeping the businesses compliant with the new regulation and reducing that overall lighting consumption.
Okay, good. And something we all need to tackle immediately.
Yeah.
Talk to us then again about some industry changes and developments in recent years, which were having a positive effect on businesses and homeowners today.
It's been really heartening to see the changes of the last few years. We seem to be reaching a kind of sweet spot with government grants and funding, and then technological advancement. So solar is more efficient than ever, heat pumps are more technologically advanced than ever, and the grants are higher than ever. This is resulting in kind of the mass take-up of these technologies, and it just becomes more viable investment-wise. I've especially been impressed by the way businesses and homeowners have been empowered by getting their own energy data and insights, which allows them to analyze their usage a bit more and make smarter decisions around modification and reduction. There's really a lot of low-hanging fruit for businesses, especially when they look at ways they can reduce. So Energia offers a solution called Connect 360, which kind of measures and analyzes every aspect of their energy usage, and then it allows them to put in changes to reduce that. So it's things like lighting, general wastage, chillers left on at the wrong time. There's a lot of
wrong temperature very often too high.
Exactly. Yeah, and just times when there's no people in the building that energy is just kind of going to waste, and they can make huge reductions using this kind of method. And there's a similar story in the home too. There's lots of apps now and devices that can measure your energy usage in the home and spot where that wastage is occurring to help you reduce it.
And it's funny, I see people now with their Excel sheets at home doing it, tying down where they're wasting energy and things that don't need to be on. For example, the pilot light on in your TV or your cooker, they're all burning, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see little things that we can all do to change. And I suppose for those who have the solar panels, sunlight is key, and daytime operations are really important, and timers must be flying out of the shops at the moment.
Exactly, yeah. It's great to see that awareness, and it's almost amazing how long we didn't think at all about this kind of thing.
I know. What took us so long, you'd ask, wouldn't you?
Who knows?
Yeah. So it's good. And I suppose a lot of the time, while there's an urgency on the environment, a lot of the time the urgency with the environment has to be coupled with hitting you where it hurts, in the pocket. And it's when, as you say, that sweet spot, when they combine, you really are motivated to do something to affect change, which all of us are slow to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a bit of a sluggish start for these kind of changes, but we're getting there, and that's what I mean by heartening. Like, you can really see the pace of change in Irish society now. People are listening, people are making changes, and they're kind of asking the question, what can I do here?
Good to hear. Nice to hear. Hopeful to hear, I would definitely say. Energia are the very first energy supply company to be awarded the Guaranteed Irish membership, which we're absolutely delighted about. And it's great that they've been brave enough to do that and really stand head and shoulders above the others out there in doing so. And I think it's making a difference. How has it changed, and what does it mean to you, and how has it changed the business and the perception of the business to consumers?
Yeah, we're absolutely delighted to have the Guaranteed Irish symbol, and I think it's testament to the work we do in communities and indeed the wider work we do around sustainability. I think it gives us an extra boost and confidence to keep doing the work we do. and go beyond just being an electricity and gas supply company to actually making a positive impact in Irish society, whether that be, environmentally or just in the places that we operate.
Well, it's very good to see you involved and so engaged at a community level, actually.
Yeah, and that's what we pride ourselves on, whether it be supporting businesses through our lighting solutions and Connect 360 or with our Cozy Home scheme and Deep Retrofit.
Which are great schemes and people should check them out. So I know you have a special offer for Guaranteed Irish businesses and indeed Guaranteed Irish members at home in the residence space. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Robert?
Sure, yeah. So at Energia, we offer audit services. So you can, we will come in and take a look at how the energy is used in the business or the home and provide ways in which you can make the business or home more energy efficient.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. At the end of the day, unless you have a baseline on where you're spending your money, you can't make cuts and become more energy efficient. So don't forget to look up Energia and check out their free audit energy offer in the service, and it's available to all Guaranteed Irish business members, and check it out today. Thank you so much for joining us, Robert, today on the Guaranteed Irish Business Podcast. And if you want to learn more about Energia and the different schemes they operate and how they can affect your business or your home and improve your efficiency in terms of energy usage, we will leave a link to their website in the show notes. Thank you as always for listening, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button wherever you are listening to this podcast, and please do give us a favourable review if you enjoyed it.
The Guaranteed Irish Business Podcast, sponsored by FBD Insurance, Ireland's largest homegrown insurer. Support. It's what we do.